This is the Strong is a Mindset podcast, episode number 137. If you're worried that the choices you make about your habits don't matter, let me help you challenge that. This is the Strong is a Mindset podcast, where you'll learn how to build both a strong body and a strong mind by eating, moving, and thinking. I'm your host, physician, personal trainer, certified health coach, and certified life coach, Carrie Holland. Hey, how are you? What's new? What's good? So, what's good here? We are going to talk about the impact of your decisions and how they compound over time. So specifically, I want to address the notion that this doesn't matter. This glass of water instead of a Coke doesn't matter. This 10-minute walk instead of sitting on the couch doesn't matter. This salad instead of French fries doesn't matter. So if you have ever thought any of these, or if you have your own example, keep listening, okay? So this episode was partly inspired by a conversation, or actually multiple conversations that I've had with my youngest son. So he is a swimmer. And unlike his mother, he started swimming pretty early on. I think he was 5 when he started competing after taking lessons as soon as he was old enough to get in a pool. So he's got swim practice multiple nights a week. And every now and then he'll complain about it and ask to skip and say that he doesn't want to go. And that is an opportunity for us to have a conversation about the impact of each practice. So my kid has goals. He's got certain time standards that he's aiming for and certain races that he wants to get really good at. And so when he asks to skip, I ask him about it. So I'll ask him to think about what his goals are. And then I'll ask him to think about whether or not it matters that he goes to that practice. Does it really matter if he skips that one practice? And the answer is no, it doesn't really matter. It does not matter in the grand scheme of my son's entire swim career, however long he decides that's going to be. It does not matter that he misses a Wednesday night practice at the local USA Swim Club. And while I just said that, the other answer to this question is that yes, in fact, it does matter. Because while it's only 1 hour and a half practice, it is more than just a workout. That practice represents more than an hour and a half of starts, turns, drills, and underwaters. It is a lot more than that, in fact. And that is where we're going today. Because what I realized is that this conversation that I've had with my youngest is not really dissimilar from the conversations I've had many times with my clients in relation to their own choices about diet, exercise, alcohol, sleep, work, pretty much all of it. And so my goal today is to help you pull this apart. If you have ever told yourself this one time won't matter, please keep listening. I want to help you see that might only be part of the story and that there's more to that one workout or that one drink or that one cookie than you might think. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the actual impact of your small decisions. And there are 2 sides to this that I want you to understand. And I'm going to give you a number of examples to illustrate this. Then I'm going to give you some ideas and concepts to consider so that you can start undoing this limiting belief that your actions do not matter. Because at the heart of it, that's what this is about. When you tell yourself this one cookie does not matter, and I've got plenty of other examples where that came from, that is really a limiting belief in disguise. And the more you believe that limiting belief, that one chocolate chip cookie does not matter, the farther you are taking yourself from your goals. So we need to turn that around. Because while it doesn't matter, it actually really does. All right, so let's go. So first, let's talk about the actual impact of your small decisions. I want to pull this apart for you because in my years of coaching women around this, I realized that there are 2 sides to this that I want you to see. Okay, so let's take your workout as an example. Since I opened up talking about my kids swimming, let's keep going with workouts for just a minute. So imagine you've had a long weekend, lots of errands, maybe kid activities, going out with friends, all of it. And at the end of the weekend, as Sunday is winding down, you have to decide if you're going to work out Monday morning. And then maybe you think through it and decide, nah, it's been a long weekend. I'm going to skip it. It doesn't really matter. And on one hand, you're right. If you think of it at its most basic level, one workout really does not matter. One 30-minute HIIT and hills ride on your Peloton does not make you fit. One 3-mile run does not make you fit. One leg day at the gym does not make you fit. But let's keep going here. What if you were to take that approach every Monday? What if you decide when normally you work out every Monday, but then you decide, nah, it doesn't really matter. What if you take that approach every Monday and you do that for a year? So that's 52 Monday workouts that you've missed. And that, I would argue, is going to have an impact. So let me break this down for you. The impact of one individual workout in the grand scheme of things is not going to matter because it takes more than one workout to change your fitness, change your physique, and change your health. And that's exactly why one workout does not matter. It's not enough to make a difference towards your goals. But then remember the other side of this. The purpose of that one workout is actually multi-purpose. It's adding a drop in your bucket. It's not necessarily that that workout adds to your immediate strength, but instead it adds to your overall strength. It's adding to your overall fitness. It's adding to your speed and endurance. All right. So really take a second and think about this. Think about your one skipped workout as one drop of water going in a bucket. That is your Monday workout right there. That one drop in the bucket, that's nothing. But then imagine skipping every Monday. That's 52 drops in the bucket. And that is something. And I'm giving you this visual because I want you to see that it's not that you're just missing out on your Monday workout by skipping. You're also missing out on the drop that you're putting in the bucket. And while that one individual drop is nothing, it's actually super important. Because how do you get to a full bucket? How do you get to a bucket full of workouts? You get to a full bucket, one drop of water or one workout at a time. So that workout actually really does matter. So while skipping a workout once isn't a problem, there's something else going on here. And that is the decision. At some point, you have to make a decision that you are not going to work out. And when you do that once, you've created a neural pathway in your brain. You've created a pathway that leads to ease and comfort and relief in the short term. And your brain is not going to forget that. And once you make that decision the first time and that pathway has been laid, it will become that much easier to do it again and again. It's habit. You know I love to talk about habit, so here it is. So it's not so much the actual lost workout that's the problem. It's the habit taking shape that's the problem. Remember that one missed workout every once in a while is an outlier. But when that pathway is laid and when that one missed workout turns into 2 missed workouts, turns into 3 missed workouts, turns into a week of missed workouts, then it becomes a new habit. And that habit started with one decision. I am not working out today. So once that decision is made, you have laid the ground to repeat that decision because your brain knows that it's easier and more comfortable to skip the workout than to get it done. But is that really the message you want to be sending to your brain? No. So let's address that. So instead, what if you decided that your workout is non-negotiable? Really, non-negotiable, meaning you set a standard for yourself and you hold yourself to it, period, end. So what if you set a standard for yourself that you just get up at 5 a.m. no matter what, and you get your workout done? However much time you've got before your day starts or whatever you've got in the day ahead of you, it doesn't matter because you're committed to get up early and getting your workout done. And while we're talking about this, let me hit this head on because it comes up all the time. So let me tackle it right out the gate. What if you don't feel like it? What do you do if you don't feel like getting up to work out? Well, let me offer you this. What if thinking, I don't feel like it, or thinking it doesn't matter, which often goes hand in hand, what if thinking that way is not even an option for you because it does in fact matter? What if you didn't give yourself the opportunity to have that conversation? Or what would happen if you just didn't even give yourself the option to negotiate with yourself? What if it didn't matter that you didn't feel like it? Holy cow, then what? So can you even imagine what your life would be like and what your workouts and what your schedule would be like and how much brain energy you would save if you did not even give yourself the option to think it doesn't matter? Honestly, it's like brushing your teeth. What if you decide that your workout is as much of a non-negotiable as brushing your teeth? How much time do you spend thinking about whether or not you brush your teeth? I'm guessing probably not a lot, right? You don't tell yourself it doesn't matter about brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth once a month and expect to go to the dentist and have 0 cavities, right? No, you brush every stinking day to maintain your teeth and keep them healthy. You don't give yourself a pass because you don't feel like it. No, you value your teeth. You value dental hygiene and you want to hang on to the teeth you've got, right? So you brush them, non-negotiable. Okay, well, so the rest of your body, your heart, your muscles, they are the same. Every time you show up for your workout, no matter how long or short or how intense, every time you show up, you send a message to your body and more importantly, to your brain. That message is that you value your health. You value taking care of yourself. You value you. So make it a non-negotiable. It does not matter if you don't feel like it. That is irrelevant. And your workout does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be a killer session each and every time you show up. You do not have to annihilate your body to say that it counts as a workout. And it doesn't have to be a perfectly boxed 30-minute workout at that. That is not the point. The point here is that you show up. You show up. And that absolutely 100% does matter. Okay? So Now, let's switch gears and let me give you another example of this, but this time let's talk about nutrition. So let's say you made a plan for your week and you've decided that you're packing salads and chicken to take with you to work for lunch. And you bring that salad and chicken with you. But one of the days, your coworkers ask if you want some of the pizza that they've ordered that's sitting in the break room. So you have pizza and breadsticks for lunch instead of the salad and chicken that you were planning for. So again, like your missed workout, that pizza and breadsticks that you had for lunch really does not matter. It's one meal. No big deal, right? That one meal in isolation is not going to make you gain 5 pounds overnight, and it's not going to really amount to much. Maybe it's more calories, more fat, more carbs, and less protein than you had planned for, but it doesn't matter, right? Because one meal of pizza instead of salad won't make you gain weight, but doing it repeatedly will. So what if you start having pizza with your coworkers instead of your salad once a week, or twice a week, or every other day? That pizza may not seem like much in the moment because it's not. It's small enough not to notice an immediate effect on your body. But over time, over months and years, you will notice a difference. You may gain weight. You may feel sluggish and bloated. You may have worsening health markers that show up in your labs at your doctor's office. None of those things will happen immediately, but it could happen. And it starts with one decision that you think does not matter. So again, think about the compounding effect here. Once you make that decision and you decide, okay, I'll just have the pizza, it doesn't matter. Once you make that choice, you've laid the foundation to do it again and again. And that's the problem. The more you tell yourself this one cookie, this one bag of fries, this one ice cream cone, the more you tell yourself that this one little thing doesn't matter, you are creating a pattern with yourself to allow other little things not to matter. So then it raises the question, at what point does it matter? At what point does that pizza lunch start to matter? Does it matter when you don't fit into your pants anymore? Does it matter when you feel bloated from all the salty, greasy food? Does it matter when your doctor tells you that you've got high blood pressure or high cholesterol? When does it matter? And at the same time, remember that the inverse is also true. Choosing a salad once at lunch instead of pizza, that does not make you instantly healthier. That salad does not immediately result in a 5-pound weight loss. But when you repeat that choice over and over again and consistently choose a salad over pizza, you will start to feel better. And I'll bet you a nickel that you'll notice it. You may have more energy. You may feel less bloated. You may start to lose weight. And notice I said consistently choose pizza over salad. I did not say always. And that is on purpose, okay? I want to make that absolutely clear. My goal is not that you swear off pizza at lunch with your coworkers from now until forever, okay? No. But if you want to change up your lifestyle and if you want to see results, you're going to have to decide for yourself what level of consistency works for you. How consistent do you need to be in order to stay on track with your goals? How often does it make sense for you to indulge? And you get to decide that. And here's another big, important take home to consider. Your choice isn't just about pizza or a salad, right? It's never about the pizza. The decision itself is pretty small. It's a meal. But the bigger picture here is that your decision reinforces the identity that you're working to build. It's about reinforcing who you are. And that is huge. Remember, your brain likes to be right, and it especially likes to be right about you. So remember who you are becoming in the process of changing your habits. Who is it that you want to be? If you decide that you want to be someone who eats healthy, that is your identity. And then you go out into the world and you practice making decisions that align with that identity. So when presented with pizza versus your salad, you come back to who you want to be. You ask yourself, what would someone who eats healthy do in this situation? Would she stick with her salad like she planned, or would she say, forget it, and dive into the pizza? So it's actually really not about the pizza. Instead, it's about the choice you're making and whether it aligns with the person you're striving to be or not. And I want you to be intentional and engaged when you make that choice. Make a conscious choice and decide. Having a salad instead of this pizza, that matters because it aligns with the kind of person I want to be. Make it clear to yourself why you're doing it. Don't just go through the motions. Put some intentionality behind it. So here's what I really want you to think about. Every time you tell yourself it doesn't matter and have the pizza instead of the lunch you planned, you send a message to your brain that reinforces the identity of someone who does not follow through on her plan. You send a message that tells your brain that you do what's convenient. We've all done it. But I would simply ask if that is the kind of message and if that is the kind of identity you want to be reinforcing. And on the other hand, every time you choose the salad or make the choice to skip the cookies or say no thank you to an extra glass of wine, it's not that you're being good. It's not that you're just sticking to your diet, okay? That is not it. Instead, when you make those choices, what you're really doing is practicing living in alignment with who you are. And that is what we are aiming for, that your actions match up with your identity. Okay. So while I've shared this before, I'm going to go and share it again here because it's relevant and I think it's such a great tool to keep coming back to. You can think of your choices as part of an identity test. So when you've got a choice to make, like in the situation we've been talking about, you've got a choice between pizza or your salad and chicken that you brought from home. You can ask yourself, what would the healthiest, strongest version of me choose in this situation? So it's not just, should I or shouldn't I eat this? That is not really it. Again, I hope you're seeing that this is not about the pizza. Instead, it's about what you're telling yourself about yourself. So if you want good answers, make sure you're asking yourself the right questions. And in this case, I would argue that you go back and remember who you are aiming to be. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be strong? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to be disciplined? Do you want to be focused? Do you want to be determined? What is it? Decide who it is that you want to be, and then practice acting accordingly by making choices that support that identity. And note I said practice, okay? We're not aiming for 100% perfect here. Not every choice you make is going to be in alignment with the kind of person you want to be, and that's okay. However, if you consistently act in a way that matches up with your desired identity, even if it's not 100% perfect, what happens? You become that person. And that's it right there. You won't feel like you're forcing salad on yourself. You won't feel like it's so hard. You won't feel so much resistance. Instead, it will feel like the natural choice. The healthy, strong version of me will do what she planned and eat her salad. And it's not such a big deal. Because again, it's not the pizza. It doesn't matter. It's the decision and what it represents that matters. It's not about demonizing any one meal. That's not it. Because we already know that one meal doesn't really add up to much. Instead, it's about recognizing the pattern that you're creating for yourself through the daily decisions you make. So if your pattern is to repeatedly choose convenience, indulgence, or short-term gratification over what you know aligns with your goals, what's happening there is that you're training yourself to continue doing that. You're training yourself into a behavior. You're training that habit. But when you shift the narrative and start making small, intentional choices and prioritize your nutrition most of the time, you are training yourself into a different behavior. You're training a different habit, one that I would argue is going to serve you a whole lot better. And the other really cool thing that happens here is that these small decisions add up and compound to result in you having more self-trust. You start to believe in yourself a little more every time you make a choice that aligns with who you want to be. You start becoming the person you want to be, and you start operating from the mindset of I am someone who values her health. And that is going to feel very different from I should just have this pizza. It doesn't really matter. It's very different. And so while I've mentioned it here and there, I want to take a few minutes and really zone in on the connection between the small actions you take and the impact it has on your self-trust. Because this is really what this is about. The small actions that you take, even though they might feel small and insignificant, they have the capacity to either build or erode your self-trust. So that workout you sleep through or that cookie you eat, even though no one knows about it or no one sees it, it matters. It's a choice. It's small, and it may not seem like much, but it does matter. And here's why. When you make a decision, in essence, you've made a promise to yourself. When you decide, okay, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock because this is the only time I have in the morning to get a reliable workout in before my day starts, there's your promise. You've made that promise to yourself. Or when you decide, I'm done having a pre-bedtime junk food snack, no more cookies and ice cream before bedtime because I know I'm not even hungry and it's not helping me, that is a promise you make to yourself. You're not promising your family or your friends or your coworkers or your coach, anyone. You are making a promise to yourself. And then once you make that promise to yourself, you have a choice in front of you. You can choose to follow through and do what you said you were going to do, or you can choose to ignore it and not follow through. So when you do follow through and get up and get your workout done or skip the cookies and ice cream, you are reinforcing the belief that you are a person who does what she says she will do. Do you see that? This is huge. When you make a promise to yourself and you follow through, you build trust in yourself. And on the flip side, when you break that commitment to yourself and skip your workout or have the cookies, even though you're not even hungry, you're doing something more than just the action itself. Even though that workout or those cookies, even though it seems like it doesn't matter, in fact, it does. because the decision you made is teaching you that your word to yourself does not matter. Really think about that. Your choice to not follow through on what you plan is sending the message that your word to yourself does not matter. But is that really what you want? So think about it in terms of your own friendships. If you've got a friend that makes plans with you, but consistently flakes out, what happens? You start to trust that friend less and less. When you're supposed to meet her at 6 for dinner and she keeps bailing on you, you're not going to trust that she's going to show up. And why would you? If that friend keeps proving that she cannot keep her word and show up when she says she's going to, why would you trust her? And the same concept is true for your relationship with yourself, okay? Don't be that kind of friend to yourself. Don't bail on the commitment that you make to yourself, okay? Show up. Show up for yourself. If you consistently break your commitments to yourself, even if they're small, the impact is not small. When you make a decision for yourself, but then you don't follow through, you're teaching yourself that your word to yourself does not matter. And then your brain learns not to believe in you. It's subtle, but it's real, and it will most definitely erode your relationship with yourself over time. And it also makes it hard to take on bigger challenges because you know deep down that you don't believe you'll follow through. It's a very slippery slope, and it's not a very fun place to be in. Because remember one of the key essentials to creating change in your life: self-efficacy. I know it comes up all the time here on the podcast, but I will continue talking about it because I think it is wildly underrated when it comes to changing your life. So let me help you make this connection super clear. Remember what self-efficacy is. It's your belief in your ability to do what you say you're going to do. It's your belief in your ability to follow through. So let me ask you, how do you think you are going to build that? Where does your belief in yourself, your belief in your ability to do what you say you're going to do, where does that come from? It comes from you doing the thing that you said you're going to do. Do you see that? You give yourself proof by doing the thing. So that means if you say you're going to get up at 5, you get up at 5. You prove to yourself that when you make a deal with yourself or you make a decision, it is done. There's no questioning. There's no bargaining. There's no talking yourself out of it. And if this seems hard for you, let me share how to make it easier. You start small. Start small, meaning you get a 10-minute workout done and you let that be enough. Even if it wasn't perfect and it didn't go the way you planned and you woke up late and were shuffling around for 25 minutes, which only left you 5 minutes to do the workout, you do it. And then you get on with your life. Or if your diet is a mess and you know that you need to change it, decide right now that you're not having French fries at dinner tonight. That's it. No fries. You're not overhauling your kitchen and your fridge tonight. You're just skipping French fries. And then you follow through on it. That is it. Make it small. Make it seem like it almost does not matter. Oh, but it does. Do you see that? There it is, right here. If you want to build self-efficacy and if you want to build trust in yourself, then the small things, they actually do really matter. Because every time you show up and follow through on the smallest of commitments that you make to yourself, you are building a foundation. You're building a foundation to ask for more of yourself. Okay, so here's what I mean. If you repeatedly do not follow through on the small commitments you make to yourself, what happens? You weaken your belief in yourself. You start to recognize that your words are just words and they don't mean anything to you. And it makes sense. If you tell yourself you're going to eat veggies at dinner and you repeatedly don't do it and load your plate with fries instead, why would you believe yourself? And one of the worst things about this is that it often leads to a downward spiral. You may think to yourself, well, if I can't even get myself to say no to fries, how in the world am I going to stop stuffing myself with cookies at the end of the day? How am I ever going to change my diet? And that is when you start catastrophizing and words like never and always enter the picture. And that is when you stop yourself before you even get started. And that will most definitely keep you stuck. But on the other hand, what if you decided that you will follow through on your commitments to yourself and you actually do it? What happens then? So as an example, imagine you set a goal to get up 10 minutes earlier so you can do a simple stretch routine. It's small. It's 10 minutes. No big deal, right? Or is it? Because the more you do this and the more you consistently show up and do that 10 minutes of stretching, the more you show yourself what you are capable of. And then you start asking for more of yourself. You may eventually decide, well, hey, if I can get up 10 minutes early and do this stretching, maybe I can get up 20 minutes early and walk for 10 minutes before I stretch for 10 minutes. And again, that is another small incremental step. But it's not insignificant because eventually that 10-minute walk could turn into a 20-minute walk. And that 20-minute walk could turn into 25 minutes of walking with 5 minutes of jogging. And the point here is that you have no idea what you're capable of until you start proving it to yourself. Do not just think to yourself, yeah, I could get up at 5 and stretch for 10 minutes, only to not do it. Go do it. Prove to yourself that you follow through. Prove that the smallest, most seemingly insignificant actions, prove that they actually do matter. Prove that it matters to you. Because when you prove to yourself that you follow through, even if it's following through on these small things, you open yourself up to possibility. You open your brain up to the question, what else can I do? What else am I capable of achieving? I've worked out 3 mornings in a row this week. Can I make it 5? I've been taking salads for lunch every day. Can I swap my afternoon cookie for a piece of fruit? And all you're doing is building one small success on top of another. Once you've proven to yourself, hey, yes, I can do this, and this small action, in fact, does matter, then you will naturally find yourself asking, what else? What else can I do? And that is going to feel really, really good. And honestly, this is it. This is how you transform your habits. This is how you transform your behaviors. This is how you transform your life. It's not through drastic, extreme, overnight changes. Instead, it's by stacking one small win on top of another. Every time you show up and follow through on the commitment you make to yourself, you're adding one more drop in your bucket. You're adding to your bucket of consistency. You're adding to your self-efficacy. It's a cycle. You commit to something small, like eating a veggie at dinner every night. You do it consistently, not perfectly, for a few weeks. By doing this, you feel a sense of accomplishment because it feels good to follow through on what you say you're going to do. And your brain starts believing that you can follow through. And then you ask for more of yourself and decide that next you're going to skip your bedtime bowl of ice cream because you know you're not hungry and it's habit. And then you start skipping the ice cream consistently. Again, not perfectly. And that also feels pretty good. And what happens? Your confidence in yourself grows. Your belief in yourself grows. And when that happens, your capacity and even your willingness to take on more and to continue the pursuit of change also grows. And over time, all of these small actions and small wins add up. They add up to results. And so here is what I want to leave you with. Really think about this idea for a minute. You are always teaching yourself something. Every decision you make is a message to yourself about your own reliability. So if you want to be more reliable to yourself, and if you want to trust yourself more, start by following through. I'm not talking about taking on big, overwhelming things, but start following through on the smallest, most seemingly insignificant of actions. Even though no one is watching and no one will ever know if you ate that cookie, don't eat it. Not because cookies are bad, and they're not, but because you told yourself you weren't going to eat it. It's not about the cookie. It's about the promise you made to yourself. It doesn't matter that no one else is watching. It doesn't matter that no one else will know that you made a commitment to yourself and broke it. You will know, and that is important. Because most of the time, you don't notice the impact of a single action. But over time, your repeated single actions add up, and those repeated choices define your results. And more than that, they define you. Every time you follow through, you strengthen the identity of someone who can count on herself, someone who does what she says she will do. And when you become that person, when you fully trust yourself, your life changes. Because then you're not just making good choices. You're making decisions from a place of confidence, clarity, and strength. So choose one small thing, something that feels so tiny, so insignificant that it seems like it doesn't matter. And then go and follow through because it doesn't matter, but it does. All right. And if you want help with this, let's go. When you coach with me, you'll decide on the smallest actions you can take to move yourself forward, and we'll practice following through. Check out my website, send me a message at www.carriehollandmd.com/contact, and let's talk about how changing your actions will build your self-trust and change your life. All right? Thank you again for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you again next week. Hey, if you want to build muscle but don't know where to start, I've got you covered. Head over to carriehollandmd.com/buildstrength and download my free guide to help you maximize your strength training. Inside, you'll find the essential exercises for building muscle, plus simple 1, 2, and 3-day workout plans that you can follow with just dumbbells and a bench. You'll also find strength training tips to help you train smarter and see real results. My goal is to help you get strong, and this strength training guide will help you do it. Go to carriehollandmd.com/buildstrength and check it out. Thank you for listening to the Strong is a Mindset podcast. If you want to learn more about how to build both a strong mind and a strong body by eating, moving, and most importantly, thinking, check out carriehollandmd.com.